All right, yeah, it looks like we are ready to go now that this run has been blessed by the burritos. I'm going to throw it over to WinnerBit for some Shantae any percent. Let's give it up for WinnerBit.
How's it going, everyone? This is WinnerBit. I'll let my, well, I can't really let my couch introduce himself. This is Rogue Link back here, go ahead and wave. And this is Shantae. It's been about 4 years since this game has been featured at a GDQ, and I hope I can do it justice. That time's going to start once I select my file here. And that's going to be in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so this game launches right into the action. We're just chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. And, thank you, crowd. And suddenly cannonball through our roof. So yeah, we're going to have to investigate this pirate attack. Right away, getting started with Shantae here, you have a few RNG cannonballs to avoid. Unfortunately, we could not quite avoid that one, but usually the best course of action is just to hope for the best. Sometimes you can double back on yourself like that to avoid one. And there are 5 scripted cannonballs that will break the bridge. Those actually do not have hitboxes, so you don't have to worry about them. There we go. Not too bad. So if you're familiar with Shantae's series, this is the first game released in 2002 for the Game Boy Color. 1 year after the Game Boy Advance came out, unfortunately. But it was about 6 or 8 years in development. 1994 is when Matt and Aaron Boson originally created the concept for Shantae, and 1996 is when they got started with various game design. So this is Risky Boots, and she's the main nemesis of this game. This is our first opportunity where we could just run up and grab her, but we don't for the sake of the plot, because, you know, video games. And starting out here in Scuttletown, the town that we've been hired as a half-genie to guard, we have somewhat of a linear level design, but that will change once we get out of town, whereupon it becomes more of a Metroidvania. What I'm doing right now is trying to get through town as fast as possible so I can hit the halfway mark before we hit a certain cycle. And I'll explain further once we arrive there. Looks like we have about a half-second to spare right now. There is a bit of a task technique I'm going to go for. Okay, that was our last major obstacle, and here it comes. I'm going to try to jump onto this brick and get right back off immediately. And we made it. It's not over yet. Now it's over. So that saves about 4.5 seconds over the old run. And now we get a little bit more plot exposure. These Tinkerbats, who are basically Risky Boots' henchmen, are stealing a steam engine, the first one in existence, and leave behind a little present for its creator, Uncle Mimic. So he's going to explain to us what the steam engine is and why it's really bad that it's getting stolen, because Risky Boots is going to try to use it to take over the world. And of course, we have to set out to stop him. If you crouch, you retain run speed for some reason, so I use that to get over to the breakable bricks a little bit faster. We're going to heal up right here since we're a little bit low on health. Marathon safety strats. And take a quick full hop. And here we are on our first boss. Coming up right about now. So here's our second opportunity where we could just straight up take care of Risky Boots face to face, but we decide not to for some reason. Now hopefully I will get 7 hits in on this first phase. You can almost always consistently 2-cycle this phase of the boss. Oopsie, okay, what's going on? I do not want to know what's happening. Alright, this might be a problem. Shoot, yeah, I'm unresponsive. I don't know. Just stopped working. Give a quick second, guys.
All right, looks like we'll go ahead and troubleshoot that a little bit. So meanwhile, I guess we'll go back to Burrito Cam. For when things go wrong, giant burrito. I can't. It's too good. All right, Couch is asking me to come over and grab a bite of this burrito. All right, 1 second. Can confirm that is a good burrito. All right. All right, well, once I get through this burrito taste, we will go ahead and read some donations while we are troubleshooting the GameCube. All right, we had a $20 donation from TKY619, who says, Shantae, hype, ret to go, WinnerBit. Good luck on the run, bud. Community is right behind you. Oh, and please help those warp squids out. I think it misses its mommy. We also had a $5 donation from Psycho Chicken, who says, about to see one of my favorite games ever speedrun. Or my favorite games ever about to be speedrun. There we go. Good luck and let's dance. We also had a $10 donation from Mijati. Says, good luck, WinnerBit. Hope the run goes well, and remember, a good run a day keeps the birds away. Which I'm sure means something, and I'm going to take it as a good thing. We also had a $50 anonymous donation, which went partly towards the Titanfall 2 glitch exhibition. If we meet that incentive, which we need about $2,100 more, then at the end of Titanfall 2, Brian Nato will be doing a glitch exhibition of a ton of glitches that are in the game. So if you want to see a bunch of cool glitches in Titanfall 2, we can go ahead and get those donations in for that incentive. All right, looks like we are set up and good to go, so I'm going to throw it back to WinnerBit for the first time that we have tried Shantae.
Hello, everyone. you've probably never seen me before, and that's because this is my first GDQ and my first appearance ever. Back here on the couch, once again, is Rogue Link. Let's get that name right. And we should have all the technical difficulties all sussed out and ready to go. So here we are in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so starting from the beginning here, right away we're going to launch into the action with a cannonball through our roof. Not necessarily the best way to wake up in the morning, but it's Shantae's wake-up call to this pirate attack. As a half-genie, she has been hired as this town's guardian, and so it's her job to take care of things. Most of these cannonballs are RNG, however there are 5 that are scripted to break the bridge, so I'm going to do my best to avoid all of them except the ones that do break the bridge, because those actually do not have a hitbox. Alright, that was the perfect bridge. Yeah, give it up to RNG. So during this cutscene, I'll explain a little bit about this game's history. This is the Game Boy Color game that launched the Shantae series. It was released in 2002 with a roughly 20,000 copy run. It's really unfortunate. There are so few copies out there that I'm actually forced to run on a reproduction cart because the best price I can find pretty much anywhere is $400 or so. Pretty crazy. So this is Risky Boots, the arch nemesis of this game. This is our first opportunity to run up and grab her and just take care of the entire problem right away. But of course, for the sake of the plot, we don't. So we're going to go and pursue her across Scuttletown now. Right away, you're going to notice the level design seems pretty linear, but that is going to change after our first boss, whereupon it becomes a little bit more of a Metroidvania. So just making our way through town here, taking a very specific path to avoid mandatory hits. And I'm going to try to optimize my movement as best as I can, all the way through. Okay, well, there goes that. I'm going to try to optimize my movement so I can get an early cycle on this staircase coming up. There's a set of Mega Man style blocks that I have to make an early cycle on. And it's coming up right here. And I was a little bit eager. That's unfortunate. Oopsie. Marathon luck. Alright, made it up there. The task strat gets up there 2 cycles earlier than the original human strat, which I have been going for in runs lately. So right here, the Tinkerbats, which are Risky Boots' henchmen of sorts, are stealing the first ever steam engine in existence and leaving behind a little bit of a present at the workshop of Uncle Mimic, its creator. Whereupon he explains that it's a very bad thing that the steam engine has been stolen because Risky Boots plans to use it to take over the world, which is of course not good. So we're making our way on over to her ship. If you crouch on breakable blocks, you retain movement, your run speed. So we're going to do that to optimize our movement a little bit there. Going to heal up for marathon safety. And after this jump, we should be all clear to head to our first boss. Now this is our second opportunity where we could just run up and grab her and take care of this entire situation. But of course there would be no game if we did that. So if we're lucky, we're going to get a 7-hit first cycle. It's going to take a bit of mashing. Looks like we're getting 6 though. And that's to be expected. It takes 10 hits to destroy this dynamite. So here we go again. Okay, and phase 2. We're going to have to hit these dynamite blocks 4 times per window. If it appears multiple times in the same window, it saves a few frames for some reason. Just like that. So they want that as many times as possible for good RNG. Okay, that was really good. And one more hit. There we go. Alright, so Risky Boots is gonna haul her ship away, and she has the steam engine now, so we have to pursue her. But first, plot exposure. So we have about a minute here. Shoutouts to Bootleg Shantae in the crowd if you can spot her. And we have about a minute for donations, if you want to read some of those off.
Yeah, totally. So I have a $10 donation from Lori D. Bunnykins, who says, "Good luck, WinnerBit. It's been great watching you run this game on stream for a while, and I'm glad you get to show it off at GDQ. Lots of love from Lori." And we also had a $5 donation from Megaslayer321A, who just says, "Good luck, WinnerBit, on the run."
Alright, got about time for two more, I think.
Okay. We had a $10 donation from DePatman89, who says, "Shantae is one of my favorite series, so I am looking forward to this run." And a $5 donation from Fio, who says, "Yay, Shantae's back!" Woo!
Alright, so we are exiting town now, and this is where it becomes the Metroidvania. We're gonna head right first into the Scarecrow Fields. And all the enemies here are RNG, which is not that great because you do have to traverse this area twice over the course of the run. If they spawn too far away, they will hit you with their spears, and if they're too close, then of course they will stab you with their body. I use audio cues to know when to jump over these guys. There we go. We're gonna have to wait for this. Not getting very good RNG on these dirt dogs, but it is what it is. As long as we have one heart getting out of here, we're fine. It looks like we are good. Alright, so heading through the forest here. These spiders do try to shoot at you, but since you're using run speed through here, they don't have time to actually get their bullets off. So this area is pretty free. We have time for one more donation.
Okay. We had a $25 donation from Dashy10, who says, "Hey there, WinnerBit, Dashy here. Sorry I can't make it to GDQ Express this year, but I hope the run goes well. I would like to thank WinnerBit, Boyk, Shasta, and everyone else for making this possible. So here's $25 towards Runner's Choice." I'm not sure we got that from you, but we can grab that potentially as well.
I definitely will provide that information.
Cool.
Alright, so we're passing by the dribble fountain. We are going to be doubling back to this area after we go to Watertown, which is our current destination, and we talk to Bolo. This waterfall area is pretty scary, especially for casual players. A lot of precise jumps and a lot of blind jumps as well. And I actually did not jump there, so that's not that good. Shame on me. This one's tricky. Oopsie. Where are my inputs? It happens. Okay, we're coming up on Watertown. Cool little thing about how towns function is that you can enter doorways and just keep running. So I'm gonna do that right here. See ya. And coming up on Bolo here, he's gonna explain how Risky Boots has already been here and gotten directions to the dribble fountain. So we're gonna have to double back and pursue her. Before we leave town though, we're going to pop into the save room. And this is so we can set our warp marker back to Watertown. And this will save us some time later on when we do some game over abuse. We used to save here, but it turns out all we have to do is just pop into the room and then leave again. It saves about 7 seconds. And off we go. We're coming up on one of the more interesting mechanics of this game as a whole, and it is the day-night cycle. And right on cue, every 2 minutes and 8 seconds of in-game time, which is 128 seconds for those keeping track, the day changes to night and vice versa. And the main difference, of course, is the graphics and music, but in addition to this, the enemies actually become twice as strong and twice as difficult to defeat. So this will matter a little bit later on, but the most important thing overall is there is a town partway through the run that you can only access at night. And it's crucial that we get there during the nighttime, or otherwise we have to wait about 2 minutes for the entrance to show up again. So we are on some major time pressure until about halfway through the run. And Bolo's going to show us how to enter the dribble fountain. Hey, look at the flick of the wrist. Whoop! And this is going to be our 4th opportunity to just tackle Risky Boots. But of course, we're going to let her drop down this pit in the middle of the stage. See ya! And this introduces our first labyrinth. Labyrinths work a little bit differently than the overworld. I'm going to take a death right here on purpose to regain my health and lose a life in a convenient location. There we go. And these are some Zelda-like dungeons, where you have a bit of a pattern of get the key, unlock the door, find the transformation dance, get another key, and find the boss, and defeat the boss and leave. That's the general workflow. This right here, where I collect this 5-gem drop from the Wet Gal, yes, they are called Wet Gals, is the first major deviation in the route from 4 years ago. And this is the only warp squid we're going to collect in the run. It misses, it is mommy. We need 4 warp squids to set up a warp dance in Oasis Town, which will allow us to basically use a dance to transport us all the way to the left side of the map. And we'll be using that twice over the course of the run, so it's very convenient. Happy feet, let's go. And 2-1-2, that's my system that I use for memorizing the tiles on the wall. The order in which the tiles appear on the wall are RNG, and the starting tiles are also RNG, so we have to kind of work with it on the fly. Alright, and quick little hop right here we can do. Nice. 2 more of those later on that I'll try and get as well. Second 5-gem drop. We're going to want to have at least 85 gems leaving this labyrinth. We used to collect 60, but we now need 25 more gems in order to pick up Storm Puffs, which will allow us to do 2 new glitches that were originally TAS only, but I recently mapped to RTA about 4 months ago. So difficulty increases now. We have 4 to memorize, 1, 2, 2, 2. I just accidentally hit this one again, but that's alright. Bit of a backup strat there. That's our third 5-gem drop. And let's see if we can get this. Missed it, but that's alright. Got it on the backup. And the first major time save over the previous non-Storm Puff routes is that you would have to go out of your way to collect the other 3 warp squids, one of which is just to the right there in a hidden passage. But you can just skip them. They'll be alright, they're just chilling. And we got good luck right here as far as the fireballs go. They usually hit you right there, but that means we can go for a tricky strat. Unfortunately, that particular set of tiles is broken, so we have to go up here and repair them, but not before defeating a Wetman over here. I like to call him Meta Knight though, because he can block as many times as he wants, and anyone who runs a Kirby game will know what I'm talking about. 4 blocks is actually not that bad. I've seen him block up to 17 times. So that's actually really good RNG. Gonna do a blind jump right here. Nice. And, alright, 3-1-3. So my system here is 1 is Nautilus, 2 is Fish, and 3 is Squid. So 3-1-3 is Squid, Nautilus, Squid. We have 2 extra hearts of health here that I am actually going to try to get rid of. So here's our first hit. And here's our second. The reason I'm losing health right now is to do a little bit of death warp up to the last door that we exited. There we go, and got the key. So now we're just going to kill ourselves on this crab over here. Make another blind jump. Nice. And coming up is our first transformation dance. Hopefully this will be the only time that we actually watch the genie cutscene, because the other 3 times we'll use Storm Puffs to skip it. So keep your eyes peeled. So this will allow us to use Monkey in our run. Monkey is a transformation that we can use to shrink our hitbox, move a little bit faster, jump higher, and just have a range of better mobility options. So we're going to make liberal use of it throughout the run. Of course, we would normally grab that warp squid, but as I said, they'll be alright. They've been hanging out here for years. They'll be fine with a few days more. We're going to make our way to the top of this labyrinth, where the boss is located. We're going to hope for good RNG with the double Wetman fight that we have to take care of. And if we do get good RNG, then we won't get hit. But if we do, we have some backup hearts we can grab right before the boss. Just gotta hang out here. Alright, we're not getting very good RNG, but hopefully we can take care of these guys individually. Ooh, this is bad. We have to walk into him and take the damage just so I can be sure to pick up the 5 gem drop there. There we go. Alright, we're at 85 or more now, so we are all set to go. So each boss of each cavern... Well, let me explain what these stones are really quickly. These are magical stones that will help Risky Boots power up the steam engine, but we're trying to retrieve the stones from her. So she has her plans thwarted, obviously. Because that would be bad if she took over the world with them. This boss, you're supposed to use monkey transformation to kind of cheese out on the sides. If you allow him to sit there for too long, then he will start making waves. You're supposed to use monkey dance to climb the walls to avoid them. But you can just kind of jump and keep him in a frame trap. Just kind of happy birthday him in the corner. So that was our first boss. And now Bolo is going to explain what those stones are. You can go ahead and read off one more donation.
Totally. We have a $10 donation from Mr. Psycho. Says, this is just a great way for me to start my day. Good luck on the run.
Alright, and now we're receiving instructions to head over to Oasis Town, which is on the other side of the map. Normally we transform into Monkey Shantae here, but we do have to enter Scuttle Town on the way over. And entering towns requires you to be normal Shantae. Transforming into Monkey or any other transformation dance takes 5 seconds, and untransforming takes another 2. So you have to be sure that anytime you transform, you're going to save 7 seconds or more by doing so. So considering that we do have to enter town partway through here, it is not more efficient to transform into Monkey anymore. So just on our way back, we're gonna do a little bit of maneuvering, and we're going to purchase Storm Puffs. Now what's unique about them is that they actually have a hitbox that you yourself can be damaged by. And this thing considered, we're going to take advantage of this as soon as we get to Oasis Town and do a little glitch called Squid Underflow. There we go. One more. Nice. Just gonna wait for that guy and that guy. Right after we purchase Storm Puffs, we have the Naga Wasteland to deal with, which is one of the most challenging parts of the run, casually and for the speed run. So hopefully we make through it okay. What can I do for ya? 20 Storm Puffs, please. Thank you very much. And now we are going to transform into Monkey, because it's the only way through the Naga Wasteland. I want to have at least one full heart of health coming out of here, otherwise we will have to do a backup strat. There's an invincibility glitch I'm going to attempt once I get out of here and into the Ladies' Desert. Yes, there is a men's and a ladies' desert in this area. The Ladies' Desert is actually very challenging terrain-wise to navigate. Take a quick hit right there on purpose. And one more right here. And I'm gonna have to focus a little bit here to make sure I get this just right. It is a pixel perfect trick. There are a few other ways to trigger this, but this is my preferred way because it's fastest and it looks coolest. We didn't get a chance to show it off, unfortunately. The way it's supposed to work is you hit both hitboxes of the cactus at the same time, and it will cause you to be invincible for an entire screen. But instead, I'm going to go back with my half heart of health and use a more consistent strat on these Nagas here, which is to make them shoot at us, and then get damage at the same time we go down the ladder, which is a 12-frame window. So now we're invincible, we can take hits as much as we want to. And the backup strat for this is just to hop into the bathhouse once we navigate the Ladies' Desert. And that will help us regain one half heart of health and allow us to die again. Because right now, in this current state, the only way we can die is via instant death, through spikes or a pit. So we want to get rid of that in order to be able to die and pull off Squid Underflow. And I'm going to go ahead and open the menu right now and swap over to Storm Puffs. So here we go. And I have to be very careful here because the save room is right there. We want the bathhouse and not the save room. If I enter the save room, our warp marker is set to Oasis Town instead of Water Town, and that would cost about 7 minutes. So we don't want to do that. So now we have 3 stops to make. Here's the first one. We're going to go a little bit to the left, send off a Storm Puff, talk to the Warp Squid, kill ourselves, run over here, talk to her again, give her our one and only Warp Squid, hair whip a few times, and what is this? We now have 2 Warp Squids. I'm gonna exit the room, come back, and we now have 57 Warp Squids in our inventory. You do want to be a little bit careful pulling that off, because if you do things in the wrong order, you happen to hair whip incorrectly, or you menu to the wrong directory. There are many ways you can either accidentally not pull off the underflow or soft lock the game. So I did set up save files beforehand, and that is one of them. So it wasn't too risky, no pun intended. We're picking up 3 exit candies here. Exit candies are kind of like escape ropes in Pokemon. They allow you to leave the labyrinth anytime. And this will come in handy for labs 2 and 3. So now we're talking to Sky, and we're going to find out the origins of the Golem Stone, which is a very strong stone that will allow the steam engine to basically last forever. It is located in the Golem Mine. And here's Wrench. If you're familiar with the series, Wrench is a reoccurring character. And if you've heard of the story behind Wrench in the sequels, you might know he's supposed to be a combination between a wren and a finch. In this game, his name is taken a little bit more literally. You'll see what I mean once I reach the labyrinth. So now we're going to head back through the Ladies' Desert, and I'm actually going to take some damage boosts instead of navigating and defeating the enemies that are blocking my way. Hopefully we'll only have to take 3 hits, but if we take more, that's fine, because everything else past the Ladies' Desert is basically free. We have time for one more donation.
Okay. We have a $10 donation from Catherine222. Says, any GDQ is a good GDQ. I'm here for Shantae, but really I'm here for Squid Baron. The true hero of the Shantae series.
Indeed. Unfortunately, Squid Baron does not make an appearance in this particular game. Comes along a little bit later in the series. However, we do get the Squid Mothers, which is a decent alternative, I would say, and a very helpful one as well. So we do have an extra Heart of Health here that we have as a buffer. It is possible to do the Men's Desert damageless. Okay, and we just lost that buffer, so it's a good thing we had that. So I am going to focus a little bit here as well to make sure we don't get hit. It is slightly up to RNG as well, whether we get hit or not, but I do have to have on-point execution. Alright, and I was a little bit scared right there of the tail that the Scorpmen send out. So I did not get my jump off in time. Actually, I was a little bit early. I run this usually on an LCD, so my inputs are a little bit earlier than they're supposed to be. But that's fine. There goes one of those tails I was talking about. I'm gonna wait you out. So since we are 1 life down right now, I will have to pick up a backup 1-up, but it only costs about 1 second to do so. So after taking 1 entire half second to try to figure out how to get into this labyrinth, we're going to ask Wrench for help, and he's going to do his thing. So yeah, he is literally a wrench in this game. This labyrinth's gimmick is a little bit unique. It's centric around magnetism. I'm gonna get in here and we're gonna have pedestals that will transform us from red Shantae to blue Shantae and back and forth between them. And depending on our polarity, we're going to have different effects on the playing field. I'll explain those once we reach them. Get down here and try to skip a few places where we have to take damage. So now we're blue, dabba-dee-dabba-die, and if you're blue, enemies that are also blue will try to attack you, and if you're blue, then red enemies will try to avoid you. Pick up this 1-up. Now we are all set to go. And if you're the same polarity as these key holders, they will try to avoid you. But if you're the opposite polarity, then they will be attracted to you. So that's why we have to turn red right there. Dabba-dee-dabba-dead. Monkey our way on up here and take a little bit of damage. We're going to want to be at a half heart of health after this upcoming room. So I'm going to double back at the end of this one to take another hit. The reason I want to be at a half heart is because I'm going to kill myself again in order to do a cutscene skip. So since we are doing a cutscene skip, you could say it's a cutscene.
As the host, I approve of this pun.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be appreciated by someone at least. All gonna grab one more key right here to access the Labyrinth Genie. And she's going to give us the elephant dance. However, I'm going to not actually sit through the cutscene in which she gives us the dance because the flags for receiving the dance are set a little bit differently. As soon as you talk to the genie, you have the dance, just straight up. So we're going to wait and talk to her, walk into the Storm Puff, switch to exit candies, and as soon as they respawn, I'm going to leave the labyrinth. And now we have the dance, and here we are outside of the labyrinth. So now I'm going to start damage boosting again. We are on our last piece of health. Pick up another 20 gem drop. We're going to purchase fireballs later on, which will make boss killing more efficient. So with Elephant, you can head bash and remove obstacles. This Magnet Man tends to give players a lot of trouble. Yeah. Alright, not too bad there. You do not want him to grab you, because if he grabs you and shakes you, he will actually polarize you. And if you're already polarized, it will switch your magnetism from one to another. And if you are unmagnetized upon entry, then all enemies which involve magnetism will actually give you the best possible outcome. So all enemies right now, as they are right now, will actually give me the best possible outcome, which is to avoid me. Right here I'm going to be careful and transform first before picking up the key, because if you transform while picking up a key, you do have a chance to soft lock, especially in this labyrinth for some reason. So it's pretty scary, just want to be a little bit safe right there. And with one more heart and 0 extra lives, we're going to make our way into the boss. So as they get there, we have time for one more donation.
Okay. I have a $15 donation from Emily Phillips, who says, I'm really enjoying the Shantae run. I'm watching from the comfort of my hotel room, but definitely will be stopping by the GDQx room later. Good luck to all the runners.
Alright, and let's see if we can despawn this platform. Not quite. It's possible to despawn this elevator. It's not very consistent, but it does save about 4 seconds. And here we go. I am going to ask for silence during this boss because it is very challenging, very high skill, and I'm going to need complete focus. It is King Golem, your typical head and hands boss. So once again, Risky Boots standing right here, but we blow a lot of time just talking to her, and now we can't reach her anymore. So here we go. Whew. We made it. Alright, so that's a mashing boss. And this is where it becomes very important where we are in the day-night cycle. We are currently in the daytime, hopefully not too far in. As long as we have like another 30 seconds to spare with the day cycle, we will be able to make it. Because now we have to head to the zombie caravan, and the zombie caravan only appears at nighttime. So we're gonna dance on a cactus, because I feel like it. Go ahead and do in with our last life, and watch a very nice piece of clip art from the Risky Boots archives. And we're going to respawn in Watertown because of where I set up my warp. This puts us as far right in the game as we've been so far, which saves a lot of overworld traverse time. This part's a little tricky. I'm gonna be quiet for it, I think. You can read another donation if you want, though.
Sure. We had a $10 donation from Time Patches, as well as a $25 donation from Zero Mus. No comment on either of those, but thank you so much for the donations. I just want to point out that we do have a challenge mode that we're trying to reach for Titanfall 2, which is a glitch exhibition. We still need about $2,100 for that, so if you want to see that exhibition, go ahead and get those donations in.
Just going to be very careful right there. I usually take a faster strat, but marathon safety is very important. At this point, if we have not hit the night cycle, we will be in plenty of time to make the night cycle up here. We have 3 more screens to traverse, this being one of them, before we hit Zombie Town. And in my opinion, Zombie Town is one of the best soundtracks, best pieces of music in the entire soundtrack in this game. The whole game's soundtrack is good, but of course I'm going to say that because I speedrun it, and that's pretty much a requirement. If you want to see this room in particular done very well, I highly recommend you check out Black SR's run on speedrun.com. He was the former official first place runner of this game. And he actually uses Monkey for this area, which is very scary because you cannot kill your momentum like you can as normal Shantae with Monkey. Alright, and there's the night cycle. Looks like we are making it with time to spare. Here we go. These blob guys are RNG. Alright, good RNG right there. And while we make our way up here, I am going to give you a little bit of lore behind the creation of Shantae. The character concept was originally made by Erin Boson, Matt Boson's wife, and they worked together for about 2 years before coming up with some game design ideas. They eventually settled on the Game Boy Color for a development platform. Unfortunately, it took them so long to find a publisher and for Capcom to actually publish the game in the first place that it came out a full year after the Game Boy Advance had already been released. And for a Game Boy Color game, that is pretty fatal, unfortunately. However, if you do want to play this game, you can pick it up for $5 on the 3DS eShop, which is pretty nice. So we're going to enter the item shop and pick up 2 packs of 10 fireballs each. They're like pike balls, but better. And we're going to enjoy about 3 seconds of the best music in the game. Alright, that's all you get. So now we're going to talk to Roddy Tops, the resident Zomb. It's short for zombie. And she explains that the Shimmer Stone, the next stone we have to obtain from Risky Boots, is in the area that we just passed by, so we are going to have to backtrack. However, before she shows us the way inside, we're going to have to race her. And this race is very scary because she has some insane rubber banding, and if you mess up even once after the halfway point, you have to start the entire race over again because there's no way you can catch up. So I'm going to focus for this. And you can't just start over either. You have to finish the race and then select to try again. And you also get very little time to react. Especially on the jumps. This is where it gets scary. Easy every time. And that is about a minute of time lost if you happen to miss one jump. So it's pretty scary. By the way, if you want to hear more of this, particularly a remix of this song, about 2 weeks ago I released a remix under the pseudonym Twistbit. So if you want to check out an electro swing remix, it's is available on SoundCloud. Hashtag shameless plug. I consider this to be the equivalent of a viral tweet, so I have to plug my SoundCloud. It's the way it is. On the way back, we have a little bit less to worry about than we did before, because we can heal up once we're in the labyrinth. Some more blind jumps here that you can go for. Because I am not Flak SR, I'm not going to go for all the quick strats there. So, Righted Hops is going to take the phrase break a leg, literally, here, and use it to open the way to the Cackle Mound, our third labyrinth. This labyrinth uses a stealth mechanic of sorts that lets you avoid damage by hiding in the shadows. Thing is, almost all of the enemies appear too late for you to be affected by them. So you could just run past them and you're good. Oh yeah, skeleton warning, by the way. So if you're easily spooked, you might want to avert your eyes. So this slope right here is supposed to trap you down here in the lower regions of the labyrinth. However, since we picked up extra candies, we can just kind of circumvent all that trappage and... Alright, that was interesting. I just pulled off a frame-perfect trick right there by accident, which actually paid off perfectly because it lined up the eyeball just right to go right in. So that was some nice unexpected time save there. Feel free to applaud for that, yeah. That was... I've never gotten that in a run before. Let's go. But yeah, if you let your hair whip come out on the same frame you uncrouch, it actually does a double hit, which allowed me to break the pot and hit the eyeball at the exact same time. So that was pretty cool. This is my favorite room in this labyrinth, because the strats are really neat for it. Both coming and going. I'm going to pick up this extra life, just for safety. And there's some frame-perfect tricks we can try for right here. I was a little late on that one. If I do it just right, I can hit the eyeball again and make it pop right back into the socket without doing this whole series of shenanigans. Alright, you're a little bit late on each hit, but that's okay. I'm actually going to take this opportunity to start my transformation dance and save some frames. And as the monkey, we're going to make our way down here, and we're going to start taking damage on purpose again to set up for another genie cutscene skip. This is Cyborg Shantae, which happens when you jump in the air and touch a door while you're in animal form. It doesn't always happen, but it usually does happen in Lab 4. A little bit later on. On my way over here, we have time for one more donation.
All right. We have a bit of a donation here. $5 from Light Kitty Kara, who says, "Hey, winner, your run is going amazing. Keep ripping off those puns because they make you a winner."
I see what you did there. Thanks, Kara. Alright, so I'm going to take a hit right here on purpose and swap over to the fireballs. And take care of this mini-boss in 4 hits. And this boss has its own theme that you don't hear anywhere else in the game. You can get 4 cheeky early hits right there. And you have to hit him 16 times, so that cuts down from 16 to 12 during this phase. I am at a half heart of health right now, so I want to make sure I don't actually get hit by the boss. He won't ever shoot if you take care of the heads early enough. should be good to go. Yep. You can crouch right there, gain some speed, swap back to Storm Puffs, and we're gonna do it again. Here we go. Alright, so we now have the spider dance, which is the most useless dance in the entire game, if I'm going to be completely honest, because, like, right here you're supposed to use monkey, or spider, to get up on those spider webs, but we can just use monkey to skip it. There's the one tile gap right here, there we go, that we want to get into. It's very difficult to first try that one. And this eyeball likes to troll, so let's hope for the best. Oh, wow. That was pretty good. Normally I do a 2-hit strat there, but that worked out just fine for some reason. Have to wait for the Storm Puff to disappear because I forgot I did not equip exit candies. So now that we have an extra key, we are going to head up to the boss. And this guy loves to troll. So you really have to get, let's get some bless RNGs in the chat actually for this guy, because we really need him. I apologize if this spams the chat, but it is very important. It's scientifically proven that posting bless RNG helps the runner to get good RNG in all situations. So do not fear. So that's one of 3 locations that we have to use spider in the entire run. I have to transform into spider as quickly as possible here, which is right now, amidst a bunch of lag. There we go, and we have started the quick kill process. Hopefully he goes right. He did not. Classic third boss luck. If we do this right, I'll be able to trap him in a cycle here. Good. Can drop him down the pit again, and now he's guaranteed to get the quick kill. There we go. Drop him down again, and one more hit will do him in. Fun fact, the first time I versed that boss, I actually didn't know you could drop him down the pits, so I had to do 30 hair whips to defeat him. Yeah, it wasn't fun. I was very relieved to learn that there was a quicker way to do it, though. So now we have to head back to Oasis Town, and this is where the transformation dance will come in handy. We will be obtaining our final magical stone there. Here we go. So it's down, up, right, BA. This is what the warp squids taught us. So now we're all the way on the left side of the map, and we have this opportunity to traverse the mob bogs. We're gonna take a couple of hits here on purpose. It is slightly faster. This is another area that is very challenging casually. We have to use elephant here to make it through the mud box. And let's go ahead and become monkey right here, actually. Just gonna be quiet here to make sure I hit all the jumps properly. There's a pixel perfect jump right here. Let's hope I make it. That was a little late. That's alright though, I can just damage boost through that guy as a consequence. 1.5 hearts is plenty. Alright, this is a skip that was discovered at the last GDQ that this game appeared in. It was discovered in the practice room. It's called Spider Skip, and it's free. You're supposed to use the spider dance to transform into a spider and climb up the wall there, but you can just use monkey to just skip it completely. We're entering Bandit Town, where we're gonna go into the Rusty Gullet and talk to the quote-unquote guardian genie of the town. Seems very nice. Not familiar at all. Pretty cool person, honestly. And I have a bit of a confession to make. I didn't actually know who this was during my first playthrough, so I guess it worked. If you don't know, then at this point it's probably too late to tell everyone not to spoil, so it's fine. It is a 16-year-old game at this point, so telling people not to spoil a 16-year-old game is probably a lost cause. In case, this is Reverse Spider Skip. It's a skip that I myself came up with, and I failed it. And it's actually pretty much useless because it only saves like 3 seconds and it costs 20 or so. But I will try for it again since I did pick up a spare life. There it is. First try. This is the second place you actually have to use Spider and run. And the final location where you have to use Spider is an unintended out-of-bounds glitch, so... yeah, Spider is outside of those 3 locations is completely useless. We only collect 4 transformation dances in this run, but there are more. And there's also a dance that you can collect in like a full game completion run of this game, which forces you to collect 12 fireflies at nighttime throughout the overworld. And it allows you to gain a dance that you can use to heal up in exchange for gems. And it is actually the only dance that's more useless than the spider, because it's only slightly more worth it to heal up via that dance than just purchasing potions. So she's gonna use her hips to open this 4th labyrinth. And here we go. We're gonna do our best to get the golem in this roulette block. We have a few of these throughout this labyrinth to deal with. And we want the golem because it cannot block like the Wetman can, and additionally it takes only 1 hit, as opposed to the cat gals, or the bat gals. And those are the 3 options we have in that roulette. So every time we want to try to get the golem. There we go. I'm gonna wait this out. These puzzles are also RNG. You pretty much have to figure them out on the fly. That was actually perfect RNG, but I did react to it in time to hit all 4 at once. Decent to hit back up, though. You can just walk left, as scary as it looks. Take a hit right here, get past this guy, and these vortexes right here, you can only enter as human Shantae. And if you have recently damage boosted, you cannot enter. So you have to wait for the invincibility frames to wear off. Right there is a little bit of a skip you can do with Monkey. You're not supposed to be able to do that, but you can, because video games. It's totally developer intended. Just taking these safe and making sure I don't get hit. I want as much health as possible until we get out of this area, upon which we will actually start lowering our health again for another genie cutscene skip. Taking an extra beat there to make sure we get the proper result from that roulette. Another perfect RNG. Doing really well so far in that front. And we have to remember to jump here, otherwise be trapped down there. We can just drop down and make our way over to the other side of the room. We have time for one more donation.
Okay. We have a $10 donation from Valley Fox, who says, "This is so much fun. Good luck, all of you amazing runners." Thank you so much for that donation.
And there's a little warp skip we have right there. And we are now at the perfect amount of health to pull off the next... Oopsie. There we go. We're at the perfect amount of health now to pull off the next Genie cutscene skip. Take one more piece of damage booster right here. Becoming monkey there saves a lot of time on crawling because Shantae's crawl takes a long time. So right here I'm actually going to mash instead of doing 2 quick ones like I usually do. Just to make sure I get the right outcome right there, because if you don't, it's very dangerous for the run. Another little skip right here. Looks pretty scary, but it's completely safe. There we go. And here's our last Genie cutscene skip. And now we have the Harpy transformation. Wait for the invincibility frames to wear off, and off we go. So Harpy controls a lot like Joust, if you're familiar with the arcade game. And with Harpy you can pretty much go anywhere. And it's very mash intensive. Alright. So we are going to make our way over to the right side of the labyrinth and pick up a key right up here. And unfortunately we are pretty far away from the labyrinth boss. But we can negate this by doing a quick little out of bounds clip. By becoming monkey right here. I do have to be a little bit careful with this because if I don't start my transformation dance before pressing down to start it, it actually locks me in, and the only choice I have is to run right and hard lock the game by falling into a series of missing no garbled sprites. So it's pretty scary, but we're just becoming normal Shantae and then Spider Shantae over and over again. Abusing the hitbox of Spider Shantae to nudge us into the wall. And now that we're far enough into the wall, we can use Harpy and just fly out of bounds. Simple as that. We're going to make our way up here. We don't want to travel too far out of the way too quickly. Because you saw right there at the upper right corner, you saw a little bit of the missing no garbage that I was talking about. If you touch that, you hard lock the game, so you don't want to do that. So to get back in bounds, become monkey, go all the way left, run to the right, become monkey again, and just hop on out of here. So that's the last really scary part of the run. Shout outs to Cyborg Shantae again. Cyborg Shantae is actually very useful there because if you took a hit, you can use Cyborg Shantae for a total of 1 hair whip before you turn back into a monkey or whatever other animal you are. And all those sconces right there before the boss door are actually full of hearts, so it's a good backup. And this fight literally is a joust match. Relatively free. I have to flap once to regain control of my horizontal speed, because after about a half second or so, you're locked into whatever speed and direction you're going as Harpy until you flap again. So just to make sure I stay on his head, I'm going to be doing a little bit of corrective movement. We have time for one quick donation.
Okay. I just want to point out real quick that our largest donation incentive that we're hoping to meet today, later today actually, is the Blindfolded Symphony of the Night run. So if you want to see that, We're hoping to get 15,000 by later tonight, so go ahead and get those donations in.
Nice. And we didn't let him get away. Alright. So here comes our 4th stone. And now that we have all the stones, Risky Boots' plan is completely thwarted. There's absolutely nothing that she could possibly do at this point to regain her momentum as far as... Oh dear. Well, there goes that plan. So it turns out that the Guardian Genie was actually Risky Boots in disguise the entire time. Who would have thought? What a legendary Shyamalan plot twist. You can give us the case of the Ergmergs here. And now the game prompts us to head back to Scuttletown. But we're actually going to warp to Oasis Town instead. We're supposed to talk to our Uncle Mimic, who tells us to just look around in high places and try to find this spy scope, which is a telescope that will allow you to see anywhere and go to any destination in the world. So we're gonna go ahead and head on over to it right now. By the way, look at this stage up here and tell me that this is not a Smash stage waiting to happen. It's pretty good. Also, this game is literally Super Mario Odyssey. Hashtag Shantae for Smash. So we're going to look through here. We're going to find a fairly suspicious looking island where Risky Boots' ship is parked. Nothing bad could possibly come out of this island, could it? So now, once again, the game becomes linear, and from here on out, we have one level and then a couple bosses. So you can get these 2 for 2. We have 2 more later on as well. Alright, didn't quite get that jump, that's alright. Yeah, couldn't avoid that one. Oh well. Okay, we're gonna take a quick damage boost right here. It's up to RNG whether I have a clear path through the steam-powered behemoths right here. If they go to the right, that's good RNG. If they're heading left, I actually have to double back to jump over them. And now, welcome to Sonic Spinball. There's a relatively consistent strat for the spinball segments. There's one more later on. Hopefully I'll be able to do them successfully. There's one that's slightly faster that I usually do for this second one, but I'm going to use a marathon safe one instead. Also, once again, we're going to need to get some Bless RNGs out in chat, because this area you're supposed to use Spider for, but just like in my casual playthrough back when I didn't know any better, I just used Harpy, and there's a tendency for dropped inputs. So I'm going to group flaps together and hope I don't drop any. And we made it. Nice. That's a pretty scary area. You can get some applause for that, actually, because that is not the most favorable of things to try to pull off. Alright, so as soon as... there we go. As soon as Shantae gets back in here, we're all good to go. And... perfect. Gonna take a quick path through the left pipe and heal up on our way into our first final boss. So at this point we've pretty much used every transformation dance we have attained at this point. Some quick plot exposure because, you know, she's a classic Chapter 19 Hardy Boys style villain. And we are going to run into her for good luck as we drop through the floor. And off we go. Welcome to the Tinker Tank, which is a piece of technology designed to take over the world by Risky Boots, Tinkerbats, and Co. Once again, if you want to see this boss done perfectly, feel free to check out Black SR's run. I can't guarantee that I'm going to have as good of an execution in this regard as he does, but I'm going to try. Just going to swap to fireballs. There we go. That's the first of several quick transformation dances we're going to be doing. Alright. That's why we are using the quick transformation dances, is so we can use the same pike ball, the same fireball to destroy the stones. That was a little trickier. I'm very surprised they got it, actually. We have two more that are basically free. Nice, barely got that one. Hopefully I'm up on the platform. Am I? Yes. Let's go. So that right there is the trickiest part of the run, as far as this boss is concerned. We have one more quick transform that we can do. Actually, two more. There we go. Those two are pretty easy. So I'm going to offset my position right here a little bit in hopes that I can get up here in time to use the same fireball to deal as much damage to the steam engine itself as possible. And that was a pretty good Tinker Tank fight. I will gladly take that. So now we're on to Risky Boots. This fight is pretty funky. We have to hit her, I believe, 26 times. And it's up to RNG whether she decides to sit around like that or attack. You do have some time before she jumps around every time to attack her. This fight is nearly impossible without fireballs unless you crouch, because crouching extends your hair's hitbox ever so slightly. And if you get too close to her, she will launch into one of her attacks. And of course, if she's doing an attack, you can't touch her. So far going pretty well. Unfortunately, I had a bad occasion there with the hair whip. Okay, only got one gun there. That's very good. She can choose to fire her gun as many times as she wants. And actually, the previous runner who was here, Whooping Long, shoutouts to him, by the way, he got that same RNG in the previous marathon. But he's seen as many as like 14, I think, gunfires. So that was actually really good. Now that Risky is defeated, we have one of the most scary parts of the run. I'm going to continue the tradition of passing the controller off to my backseat driver. Rogue Leak, you want to take the controller? Finish this run for me? Here you go. Just, yep, hold it just like that. And just go ahead and hold to the right. I think that'll do it. And time. So that part's an auto-scroller. And pretty much if you hang all the way to the right, you have a 90% chance of making it through damageless. If you don't, that's perfectly fine, because you usually have a little bit more health. Quick post-game stuff. We have a little bit of dialogue regarding what happens when Shantae is in a coma. And apparently she travels through the genie realm, where her genie ancestors, on one side of the family, of course, offer to make her a full genie in exchange for her heroic actions, but instead she chooses to be with her friends, because if she becomes a full genie, it means she won't be able to see her friends anymore, since she will be in the genie realm instead of the mortal realm. And so she gets sent back. She has a bit of an existential crisis and decides to tell the mayor who hired her as the genie guardian of Scuttletown. Come clean, tell him that she's not actually a full-fledged genie. However, the mayor overhears her conversation with Mimic about it, and he's totally cool with it. He keeps her on. However, he ends off the post-game dialogue with a bit of a zinger that I want you to keep your eyes peeled for. I'll let you know when it's coming up. So I see we have a 108.28. That is actually just under a minute off of my old PB before I got a new one earlier this week practicing for this marathon. My current PB is a 106.59.97. So it was a 106 by 2 frames. Pretty insane. But yeah, the amount of time we've been able to shave off this run over the course of the last several months is absolutely crazy. And shoutouts to the task community, actually, for giving us a lot of the straps that I use in the current run. Alright, here it is. Keep your eyes peeled. Can I get your half price? And with that, Shantae falls into the water completely stunned, and we never hear from her again for about 8 years. Until Risky's Revenge in 2010. As we roll the credits, I'd like to give thanks to a few people here. Enjoy this wonderful music by Jake Kaufman, aka Vert. He did an absolutely amazing job with this game. And he was actually, I heard he was so prolific in this game that they actually had to cut some songs down to make it all fit in the cartridge. So, I mean, shoutouts to him, big time. And all the WayForward staff, the devs, Matt and Aaron Boson, who worked for a long time to get this game out in the first place. It really is a labor of love. Shoutouts to Jeff Pomegranate in particular, who is in the special thanks. I really like his name, and pomegranates are delicious, so just want to give him a quick shout out there. Shoutouts to everyone who's appeared at previous GDQs running a game in the Shantae series: Wu King Long, Johan Howitzer, JT Norimaki, Tina Hacks, Toucan Shams, Down Defense, Skateman 222, and everyone in the Shantae community. It's by far the most enjoyable, coolest, most awesome community you'll ever meet in the speedrunning realm of video gaming. The Boyks on host duty right now: Amethyst, Trenter TR, Mad Taz 64, Moni Vita, Turkey 619, Taco Tomcat, Mihati, Jangle Storm, and I'm sorry if I missed anyone. Everyone involved with the tasks of this game: Esco, Grandpa Glasses, that one random tasser. Then I'm not just saying that; that is literally his username. Don't go yelling at me for it. Mr. Shasta, Nest, and of course Rogue Link here for being on couch with me. I am WinnerBit, and I will see you all around. Thanks for hanging out, and stay tuned for Strafe Millennium Edition coming right up.
All right, awesome run there, WinnerBit. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to go ahead and read a couple quick donations here while we're setting up for Strafe with Hupfen. We have a $10 donation from Devin249. I've actually never seen this game before, but it looks like it's supposed to be a lot harder than you make it seem. Keep up the great work there, WinnerBit. We also had a $25 donation from Auxili with no comment, but thank you so much for that donation. And I do want to mention again, I mentioned this shortly during the Shantae run, but by this evening, we're hoping to meet the Symphony of the Night blindfolded run challenge. Right now, we have about $637 of the $15,000 we're planning to raise for that. So if you want to see Symphony of the Night completed, blindfolded, here live at GDQx, go ahead and donate towards that incentive. All right, looks like that will be it for my hosting duties here today. I'm going to go ahead and shoot this over to the next host, which is Prolix. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and stay tuned here for Strafe.
Good morning and welcome back to Games Done Quick Express. I am Prolix, and I'll be your host for this next game. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're part of the sleep-deprived crew or the early birds. Okay. Any early birds, or are we all? No? Okay, yeah. Excellent. All right. Okay, I'm being informed, just so everyone out there watching knows that yes, most of our audience suffers from insomnia. So maybe that'll be a charity to consider for next event. Up next, we have a Strafe Millennium Edition, an any percent seeded run by Hupfen. I was talking with her before the run. She's been grinding her time down lately, getting some like really excellent and consistent results. So we'll check that out. Going to be a great run. In the meantime, I'll be here with you reading your donations. You know, when you go to the website and click the donate button at the top, or just click the donate button below the stream, you can submit a comment with your donation to the Twitch Charity Plaza, and we may read your comment on air. Here's one we received from iSenor, who donated $5 and said, "Let's see the Titanfall 2 glitches." Yeah, thank you so much. Referring to an upcoming incentive we have open right now. If we raise a couple $1,000s more before the end of the Titanfall 2 any percent run by Brian Otto, we'll have a glitch exhibition that Bri will put on for us. Since Games Done Quick Express is here raising money for the TwitchCon Charity Plaza set of charities, I thought I'd let you know a little bit more about one of them. Here's St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, and they're leading the way the world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer and other life-threatening diseases. Your support helps ensure that families never receive a bill from St. Jude for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because all a family should have to worry about is helping their child. We thank you so much for your support that partially goes to St. Jude. All right, before we get too far away from the Shantae run here, I'm going to attempt this. We got a $10 donation from Anonymous, and their comment is, Hair whip it, into shape, shape shift, monkey face, damage boost, bossman nip, perfect frame tricks. It's not too late. Hair whip it. Whip it good. Do, 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 do. Thank you, Anonymous. Yeah. Do you all like Games Done Quick events? Do you all want to see them continue on and on and on? Well, we have a bonus game available right now. It's coming up later today. There's Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, and of course it's blindfolded because why not? That game is available for you to attempt to add to the marathon. But we need to raise quite a bit of money for it. So when you donate, you can, besides leaving a comment, you can choose a bid or a bid war or a goal to put your money toward. If you just select Symphony of the Night there, we'll get that Soden blindfolded run in for you if we meet the goal. Just want to make everyone aware that that is out there. All donations made during GDQx will help get toward a $100 cumulative donation that qualifies you for that AMD Ryzen 5 gaming PC. We have many other prizes available right now for $5, $10, and $15 minimum donations. So go to the website to check that out. Official rules on our giveaways are also on the website if you want to check out, hey, if I win, do you even ship to my country or things like that? All of that's there on the website for you. And just remember to check what prizes you qualify for at the time that you donate. All that info will be at the donation page. And we have a couple more donation comments here that came in during the Shantae run. I just thought I'd clear them up for you. Here's the 13th Struggle with a $5 donation said, I'm glad you got the GBC up and running again. Have fun on the run, WinterBit. Less than 3. And also, Medralex donated $10 and said, what's a little technical glitch when the speedrunner can just wish it away? Great job so far, WinterBit, and good luck on the rest of the run. We're still setting up here for Strafe Millennium Edition by Hupfen. And then after that will be a Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze Any Percent Funky Mode run by Spike Vegeta. And then after that, we have Titanfall 2, an Any Percent run by Brian Otto. We received $25 for the TwitchCon Charity Plaza from Risa. And Risa said, stayed up to see the Shantae run. Thanks, WinnerBit. And, thank you, Risa, for your donation. Although you may actually be asleep by now. So. Let me tell you a little bit more about one of the 10 charities that are participating in the TwitchCon Charity Plaza powered by Tiltify. We have the Call of Duty Endowment. They're a nonprofit that helps unemployed veterans get high quality jobs after their military service. So far, the Call of Duty Endowment has funded the placement of over 40,000 veterans. But with a high unemployment rate for young vets, there is still much more work to do. Help us reach our goal of placing 50,000 vets in jobs by 2019. Learn more at callofdutyendowment.org. Right now for Titanfall 2, there's a bid war and a donation incentive open. But speaking of the bid war, just thought I'd mention, right now, choose the Marvin's fate. Kill the Marvin or spare the Marvin. We have Kill the Marvin in the lead by a little over $50. Gosh, you're testing my game knowledge here. I don't recall what MRVN stands for, but it's a robot or android within the game, Marvin, affectionately known as, and Brian Otto, the runner, does prefer that Kill the Marvin wins as it is faster. And you can see some of those prizes scrolling by your screen right now. Check out those Zelda decals. Just a $10 donation gets you entered to win those. Oh dear. All right, I believe our audience has fully fallen into the trap of the audience cam. Gameston Quick Express will be continuing with Strafe Millennium Edition next. A reminder, please donate to support our charities. For this event, subs and any bits that you cheer in the channel and Twitch subscriptions do not go to charity for this event merely due to logistical complexities. But one of the charities you support with your donations is Direct Relief. They're a humanitarian aid organization active in all 50 states and more than 80 countries, with a mission to improve the health and lives of people affected by poverty or emergencies without regards to politics, religion, or ability to pay. They have many claims to fame, including being on the list of 10 best charities everyone's heard of, and also being named the world's most innovative company in not-for-profit by Fast Company. So I've been informed that we are set up for Strafe. We've just been waiting for some more commentators, some more couch people, and right now they're being ushered in as we speak, being brought in here to the San Jose Convention Center for TwitchCon and Games Done Quick Express. I'm being told right now they are battling the line boss, but we're going to skip that. We've got to skip for the line. But before we get things underway, I have a $10 donation here that I know the Strafe fans will be interested in. It's from Rock Band Man. They say, can't catch the Strafe run due to work, but I can donate to show some support to the bunny running it. Go Hupfen. Thanks, Rock Band Man. Pojo20 donated $25. No comment with that one. Just wanted to recognize it. Thank you for the generosity, Pojo.